Broadcasting live, brother. Welcome back to Talkin Boxing with Billy C. on the mighty TBSRadio.net, brother. What you gonna do, brother?
And we're back. You're listening to the Talkin Boxing with Billy C. show. Glad you could join us. Don't forget about the website, www.billycboxing.com. Check it out for all the latest, most important boxing news. And while you're at it, follow us on Twitter. It's at Talkin Boxing. That's TalkinBoxing. Joining us right now is Boxing Hall of Famer and the New Jersey State Athletic Commissioner, Larry Hazzard. What's up, my man?
Hey, Billy. What's going on, buddy?
Not too much, man. Not too much. Big fight this weekend. But first, I wanted to get your thoughts. Did you get a chance to watch the Rock Nation broadcast on Fox 1 Sports last Friday?
I thought it was, hey, Billy.
Yeah.
I got to eat my words. I got to kind of eat my words.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Jay-Z and those guys got something here. You know, based on that first show, it looked like a real home run, man. And, you know, I was one who felt that entertainment factor, you know, crossing it up with boxing wouldn't have much of an effect. But it seems like they did a very good marketing job, and it looked like there was wall-to-wall people there. Yeah,
it was. I've gotten some reports from people that were there, standing room only. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. I felt the same way. I loved the look and feel of the show, the black canvas on the ring. I mean, you know, it'll be interesting to see if that crossover, because obviously Jay-Z and his team made sure that all his buddies and stuff were there. So it'll be interesting to see if it continues. But I like it, and I, you know, I was thinking something when I was talking with Emily earlier in the week. And although I was just like you and didn't think the crossover was there, I kind of thought, listen, if you're a young, you know, fight fan, so to speak, or let me go back. If you're a young hip hop music fan, and you still like, you know, fights and boxing or whatever, you know, if you're listening to the hip hop radio stations and you're kind of, you know, that's your priority, you never hear of boxing. So this maybe is giving them an opportunity to you know, reach a fan base that doesn't even hear about boxing. What do you think about that?
Hey, listen, I agree, man. Listen, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, okay? And that's the only thing we can go by. And I was one of those naysayers. I just, you know, we're from the old school. But if they keep it going the way that it looked, it's a home run. And I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I am all for it. Anything that's going to revitalize our sport, anything that's going to increase the fan base, anything that's going to maintain the interest, and the fights were good. So if they could keep it going, I am all for it.
Another interesting part of that whole broadcast seems to be turning up again with some of the recent Al Heyman and NBC deals that we're hearing about. And what I mean by that is Rock Nation seemed to have, you know, some advertisers on board that we haven't seen before. And during the television broadcast, they actually even had the screen. They had some sponsors and stuff on the screen while you were watching it for, you know, a couple of seconds as the round began, which I thought was a good sign. Then you hear a couple of days later that the deal with Al Heyman and NBC, he's buying the time, which means the burden is on him and his team to sell the advertising, which, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds, because if we start getting corporate USA back supporting boxing, we're right on our way, my man.
Well, look, Al Heyman is a Harvard grad businessman. And if he can be successful in bringing boxing back to a high level like it once was on free television, he's buying the time. If he could give us top-level bouts, and from what I see, advertised for his first event that's going to take place out in Vegas. That's a very good show. That's a very good promotion. If he can keep it going, hey, more power to Al Heyman.
Yep, I agree.
More power to Al Heyman, and I am 100% behind it because we're boxing people. I'm not into all of this other crap about who's doing what and all of that. The sport has to survive, and whoever can give it a shot of energy and bring it back to the level that it once was, I'm all for it. And, hey, man, good luck to Al Heyman. Good luck to Jay-Z. Good luck to Rock Nation. Good luck. This is what we've been talking about, Billy.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we've been talking about all along.
Yeah, the best.
And we're getting all of this. We're getting this for free.
Well, the
We're getting this on regular television, where the real fans can just turn on the TV on a Saturday afternoon, and I hope they start doing some Sunday afternoon boxing like they used to have on ABC Sport. That's good for the sport, Billy.
I
and
agree.
I'm all for it. I wish them all the best, and I wish Al Heyman the best.
I agree with you, Larry, and it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds, because if Al Heyman and Rock Nation can get the support of these corporate sponsors that we haven't seen in almost 20 years, that's a huge advantage for the sport, and I think it's going to be good. So this year is going to be interesting to watch, to see how it unfolds. We have a couple,
and I certainly hope they bring as many bouts as they can to Atlantic City and to New Jersey.
Well,
that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, we got to get on the horn with the casinos and tell them, hey, when they come and knocking, you better work with them, and
you better believe. I've been all week out there, buddy. You better believe.
Yeah, because
I'm earning my salary. You better believe it.
The thing is you got this new. Listen, the most promising thing about what Al Heyman is doing and Rock Nation is doing, and even Golden Boy to a degree, because he's still up front, is that they're showing that they're not going to do a one and done. They're investing money. We know damn well that Rock Nation, lost. As great as that event was and as packed as the house was, we know that he didn't make any money on it. But that's okay if he knows that and he invested the money. Think of the day that Rock Nation had. They finalized the deal with Gary Shaw. They take over that stable. Then they sign Andre Ward, and then they have a successful night as their premier first promotion. You can't ask any better for Rock Nation. And then Al Heyman comes back with the NBC deal. We had a good 48 hours, man.
You better believe it. Oh no, it gets better. It gets a little bit better, especially for us. The latest development in Atlantic City, New Jersey, is that they've put together a sports committee whose charge it is to go out and find major sporting events to bring to Atlantic City.
Oh, great.
That is a terrific start, and it's very, very, that is the best news I've heard from New Jersey in a long time. So, all of these developments are happening within the last 48 to 72 hours. So it's good for boxing, man, and I'm all for everything that's been happening.
Yeah, that's something. Maybe I'll give you a call, or if you got some time tomorrow, I'm gonna be on the road. That's something I'd like to talk to you about, because maybe we can do a story on what their goals are and stuff. That committee, that's good. That's really good news. I wish every state.
I'll put you in touch with the key guys down there, and you give me a call, and I'll give you all the contact information you need to get in touch with that.
Sounds
with the key people there.
Sounds good. I'll call you on this number. But anyway, let me ask you this: we got a couple of good fights scheduled for this weekend. First, the ones I'm going to be at tomorrow. A couple of very interesting fights. Peter Petrov, who won the lightweight Boxino tournament, is taking on Hank Lundy in the first. They have a dual main event. What's your thoughts on this fight?
Well, Lundy in his last fight, Lundy's a tough little kid, But it seems that Lundy, there's something missing with Lundy. What's the trainer that he just took on? The guy from Washington, D.C. became his trainer. I forgot his name.
Who, Hank Lundy?
Hank Lundy. He took on a new trainer. Remember in the last fight that he had? He had a new trainer that he was training under, I thought.
Yeah, he fought Delorme. I know he fought Delorme, but are you talking about, now all of a sudden his name, the same guy that, the defensive soft-spoken guy, I can't think of his name right now.
He's Lundy's trainer now. He's training Lundy. Remember, in that last fight, I think he has a new corner. But anyway, Petrov's a pretty tough kid. I don't know. Lundy seems to, he's a tough, gutsy kid, but it just seems like something's missing. It just seems like something's missing with Lundy. I don't know. It'll be an interesting fight.
Yeah, Lundy, when he comes to fight, he's a hard out, and I thought that he came to fight against Delorme. I just think that Delorme's, physical attributes were too much for him, too tall and the reach and all of that.
Yeah, well, he gave it, but you see, he's still, his strategy, against Delorme, I think we talked about that fight. He just seems to come up short when he needs to. And I don't know, I really don't know where Lundy's going to go. I mean, he's a tough kid, he's a gutsy kid, but it just seems like he just can't put it all together for some reason.
The other fight that I'm really interested in is Willie Monroe Jr., who I've gotten to see ringside several times. He's a technically sound fighter, but his level of opposition, although the tournament put him in with some tough kids, his level of opposition hasn't been the greatest, but he's definitely being tested tomorrow night against Brian Vera. What do you think about that one?
Sometimes you put them, you want to take them to another level, but sometimes you take them a little bit too high in one step. You know what I mean? Monroe, he's got the pedigree, but I still think that I think that they overstepped with this guy. I think that's going to be a tough task for him tomorrow. But we'll see. I don't want to go too far out in trying to predict what's going to happen, but we'll see. He's got the pedigree, Billy. Monroe's got the pedigree, but I think that he might be in a little bit over his head tomorrow night.
It's going to be a big test, and I think that it's actually going to be one of those career-changing wins if he can beat Vera. I know Vera's, if he gets a W against Vera, this guy's going to skyrocket. His value is going to go way up. If he doesn't beat Vera, I don't know if it really hurts him that much, to be honest with you, because he could still be in that developmental stage. So I agree. I think it's going to be an interesting fight, and we'll see what happens. And then, of course, the big fight, really the biggest fight in the heavyweight division in a long, long time, Bermain Stavern, or the way he likes to be referred to, Berman Stavern, going up against Deontay Wilder. We've talked about this fight a lot. We both, I think we're on the same page. But how do you see this fight going, and what's your official prediction?
Well, I don't know if I want to make a prediction. Okay, but it's going to be interesting. One guy, Stavern, is a very strong fighter. He's got a good punch. Of course, we know Wilder is a power hitter, but the caliber of competition that Wilder has been in against, it's a little questionable. But I can say the same thing for the other guy. Although, his last fight when he won the title, it was a good win. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be a surprise. When that fight is over. I kind of think, that Stavern is going to be in the fight. Okay, let me put it to you like that.
Is the
I
fight
think-
is the fight going to make it to the final bell?
Yeah, I think so.
Yo,
think so.
okay. So you think it's going to go to the scorecards?
I think it's going to go to the scorecards, but I don't think it's going to be a close fight.
Huh.
I think it's going to go to the scorecards.
Interesting. You know, I think you're one of the only people that think it's going to go to the scorecards, you know, because Wilder hasn't ever gone past 4. He's a knockout puncher. And,
I know. And what's going to happen, see, and what I think is going to happen is that you're going to get two guys who are going to just be over cautious of one another, okay? And it's going to be another one of those boring type fights that everybody's expecting to be a barn burner. And in the end, you know, the guy that everybody thinks is going to win is probably not going to win. You know, that's where I'm putting it. So we'll see. Let's see what type of prognosticator I am. You know?
And finally, Larry, a lot of talk about the biggest fight that everybody wants to see. Of course,
look like it's going to get made, huh?
yeah, it pretty much. I mean, you know, yesterday it was reported that from ESPN, ABC News, not ABC Sports, ABC News, and of course Yahoo Sports, just to name the top 3, all reported that the contract is done and that we should be getting an announcement soon. Do you believe it? I still am getting, you know, mixed feelings from the fans. Some say they believe it, and some say they're not going to believe it. Even if it's announced, they're not going to believe it till the bell rings. What's your thoughts, real quick?
No, it's done. It's done. I believe it. It's done.
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
believe it.
It's got to be.
It's got to be. Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
Believe me, Billy. Believe me, I'm pretty positive it's done.
I agree with you, Larry, and I can't see them fighting either one of those guys. Who could they possibly present to us that would be accepted, you know, without any kind of grief? And neither one of those two guys, I'm talking about Pacquiao and Mayweather, can really come up with an opponent other than each other that I think the boxing community would accept.
Yeah, and you know, they're holding up. They're pulling the biggest stick up in boxing history for the money that these guys are going to. No fight is worth that much. You know, and what these guys have, what they've done to boxing fans for all of this time is very unfair. And for them to be getting the type of purses that they'll probably get is a real joke. And the fight, you wake me up. Make sure you call me and wake me up so that we can talk about it when it's over.
You know,
because it's going to put everybody to sleep.
That's the scary part. You know, chances are, and more than you know, a few people have said the same thing, where they're saying, you know, the fight that we've wanted all these years is going to be anticlimactic. You know, it's going to be one of those fights that, like you said, I hope we're all wrong. I hope it's the greatest fight. Not only is it the biggest fight, I hope it turns out to be the greatest fight of all time. I mean, I would love to be able to witness it, you know,
This fight will not come anywhere near Leonard Duran, Frazier Ali. I shouldn't even say Frazier Ali, because that's in a class by itself, especially the Thriller in Manila. Okay, that's the greatest heavyweight fight of all time. But this fight will not come anywhere near Leonard Hearns, Leonard Duran, or any of the Hagler, Hearns. This fight will be laughable when you try to compare it to any of those fights. Just remember that what I said on this program on this night, okay, Billy?
What you're saying is the fight itself isn't going to be as exciting as any of those fights you mentioned, which I agree with you 100%. I hope we're wrong. But you know, you don't have the willingness from Mayweather, in my opinion, to exchange like you had. I mean, Mayweather's got all the talent, and he's happy fighting his style. Manny will take the chance. We know that. And in those fights that you mentioned, both sides in all those fights were willing to take the chance. And if Floyd could shock us. He's got the talent, and if he did it, we'll be treated to the greatest fight. If not, you know, I'll need you to wake me up.
This is going to be the biggest robbery in the history of boxing for these two guys, man. I've lost all confidence in these two guys putting on a fight that the fans deserve and that boxing deserves. I see all of the signs already. You know, it's been when they were both at the top, when everybody wanted to fight. That's when we would have seen, you know, a real fight. Now everything is all hype now. It's all hype. When the hype is over, the fight's going to be all crap. You're going to see. You know, they'll have 14, 15,000 people at the press, at the at the weigh-in and all of that. That's going to be more exciting than the fight. You'll see.
Yeah, well, I hope it happens, and I hope they announce it as soon as Saturday night, which is the rumor. But we'll see. I think they should announce it on the Super Bowl because what a great audience they would have to bring that in the news for that day. But we'll see what happens, my man. But anyway, I know that you're busy tonight, and I appreciate you still taking time for the show. And I'll give you a shout sometime during the day tomorrow, and we'll talk about that committee because I'd love to either get them on or chat with them or something.
Okay, that's good, Billy. I look forward to it. Just give me a call.
All right, brother. Thanks a lot, Larry. I'll talk to you soon, my man.
Okay, Billy.
That's my man, Larry Hazzard, International Boxing Hall of Famer, and, of course, the New Jersey State Athletic Commissioner. And he's moving and shaking. He's doing some great things, getting New Jersey back on the map for the sport of boxing. So